So here we have the Brauheld Klarstein Brauheld 35 Smart brew kettle. I think it's also called in other countries rebranded to Coobra CB3 version 5 or a Agape ML-35G1-SW, but this is the Klarstein version. So 35 litres. It's got the external tap with the lock, so you have to lift that before you turn it. It's got the two separate switches for pump and power. You've got this model is a Bluetooth model, so actually the controller is removable. You can have it on the work surface, or you can clip it on the side of the machine, and it plugs into this port here, which is like a 5-pin sort of type plug. And this Brauheld actually has what they call 3D circulation. So from the pump, which is hidden, I think there's a pro version or a slightly older version maybe with the pumps that are external, and now they've sort of hidden them in. But yeah, so 3D circulation where you've got a controllable flow that comes up to the bottom of the system, and it blows out the water across onto the kettle sort of heating bed. So in theory, to stop it burning your grain. And then the secondary circulation is up through this pipe and then down on top, so that it's got the kind of up and down circulation, and this is the sort of side to side. That's the theory anyway. So you've got a glass lid. Here's the sparging plate. Actually comes with a nice sort of printed manual actually, but there's not an awful lot in there, but you know, it's got pictures and gives you the basics. And there's actually an app that you download, and it syncs across using 2.4 gig Wi-Fi network, so it won't work on 5 gig. I actually have got a separate sort of brewing Wi-Fi network set up on 2.4 gigahertz frequency, so it all synced nicely with the app and my Wi-Fi. This is the external controller. That's the connector there. So that's pretty good, and then it's got this sort of bracket on the back, so it hangs on the device, or you can sit it on the work surface. So there's just slots there, and that plugs in down there. It's got a quite nice anti-spill lid there. Also, it's got sort of things like some built-in programs, and you can also have manual mode as well. And then some people said that sometimes if you program it in and you say you want it to come up to 100 degrees for the boil, and it's always sort of reading 99 and yet it's boiling over, you can actually calibrate it and punch in an offset so that it actually reflects the true temperature, so that's quite handy. Some other bits in here. So we have, doing all this one-handed, there's actually two different bazooka filters here. So these are the ones that I can't see at the moment, but these would actually screw on onto the pump inlet at the bottom of the system. So this one sort of, is that the coarse one? I've probably got the fine one already screwed in. This is the circulation arm. There's like a double O-rings there for the seal. this actually comes over here and slots in there, slots down there, and screw that up so this can sort of move around and you can direct it into the lid. Then we've got the grain basket here. And this is the overflow pipe, which is telescopic. See if I can do this one-handed. Yeah. So you can see that it will extend. Oops. It will even overextend, which is not great, is it? But yeah, so there's a sort of spring clip there. Sorry about this. Just. Yeah, so it's a spring clip so that can be telescopic to a certain extent. And that actually screws down into the thread of the grain basket there. What else we got? Last bit here is the actual grain basket handle, which slots in these holes here, and then that will allow me to lift the grain basket out. It's got two stages that you can sort of lift out, initial stage and then let drain and then lift it fully out, which is good. It's also on these legs, so that stops it from sitting directly on the very bottom of the kettle. So that's a grain basket. The size of the holes at the bottom, they look about, I don't know, I'd say they're about 3 mil. I might actually get an additional false bottom and put it in there, because I've heard a lot of people talk about the pumps getting clogged up and so on. Right, so as you can see, this is the other filter. So they give you 2 filters for the pump. This is the other one, which is a lot coarser compared to. So there's 2 options there. There's an internal scale you can see. I'm not sure how useful that is, because I suppose you can only see that when the grain basket is not in, so I guess that's just for your boil. But it also has this outside level thing, but there's no scales against that, so it just tells you, just shows you how much liquor you've got in there. But I might sort of put some numbers on there, perhaps calibrate it. That might be useful. So what's down in the bottom here? So there's a whole bunch of polystyrene flakes from the packing, but so what do we got here? These are the 2 inlets from the water level thing, so obviously that's how that works. We've got the pump intake there. We've also got, this is the recirculation port, so that's where this comes from, the pump up through here, and is sort of targeted at the main sort of heating bed there. But there's no sort of anything on the end. It's just a pipe, so that's not going to be the best, is it? But there you go. And then we've obviously got the tap out to get your wort out into your fermenter. What else we got? So yeah, got the sort of vents to I guess keep the pump cool. This is the label. I think that QR code takes you to the latest manual, which is quite nice. There's your Klarstein label. But yeah, I was a bit confused, because there seems to be 2 versions of the 35 litre. There's this one, And then there's the other one, which they call the Brauheld Pro 35, which seems to have the pump on the outside. And the only benefits of that I can see is that I think the pump is connected via a sort of silicon tube, and I guess you could pull that off and then use it to pump it out into your fermenter or something, I don't know, but yeah, I'm not sure, because I guess in theory I could do the same here if I had the right sort of connectors and stuff. I'm gonna make a thermal sort of jacket out of wetsuit material. I've bought some 5mm neoprene, and I'm just gonna sort of, yeah, make it so that it sort of velcros round, so that will help sort of retain the heat during the well, I guess it will allow it to get up to the boil quicker and so on, but that's the plan anyway. I think Klarstein do sell a sort of jacket for it, but no doubt it's quite pricey. Yeah, so this actually retails in the UK at the moment on the klarstein.co.uk site for about 404 quid. I got mine on Amazon as well for a bit cheaper, but they seem to come and go on Amazon. I'm not sure what the model there is. Oh yeah, here's the switches. So you can obviously see this one's for the pump. Turns the pump on and off. Obviously you've got the ball lock sort of valves here that you can turn the various sort of different parts on and off. And that's just the main on and off thing. And yeah, let's just take that off. Let's just have a quick look at the bottom of the unit, because what I might do before I use this is check all the seals and connections manually. So I might take the bottom off. Does it remove? I don't know, there's a few screws there. I'm thinking, yeah, and there's some screws in the legs. I'm thinking, take the legs off and maybe this bottom will come off and I can access the pump and check the plumbing and everything. But yeah, so it's 2,500 watts, and then that's controllable from 100 all the way up to 2,500, I think, in the app or the manual system. Apparently, it does say somewhere that the heating element on this is replaceable, which is different from some of the other models where apparently it's kind of welded into the base or something. So I did read somewhere that the heating element is replaceable on this, which makes it more you know, recyclable, reusable, repairable, all that sort of good stuff. So there you go. That is the Klarstein Brauheld 35 Smart. And I'll sort of do a vid on my first use and see how it goes. But yeah, the main worry I've got is sort of yeah, grain burning and things, and pumps blocking up. So it's just trying to get the right level of flow and the right milling of the grain. So if I buy ready milled grain, I don't want it to be too fine, but I mean, people must do the same with you know, grain father and the Brewzilla, I guess, but they must have sort of different sort of fineness in their filters and things, so I'll just have to see. But as I say, I am thinking of getting another false bottom, or using a frying pan spatter protector or whatever. You basically get another stainless steel mesh thing to drop in the bottom, which is a bit finer than this, so hopefully that will help. But obviously it'll have to have a hole in the middle, so yeah, might be able to buy a Brewzilla one or something like that, but we shall see. Yeah, that's it for now. What I didn't show you was actually what stops the grains from going down the overflow pipe? Well, they give you this big chunky bolt. Get that in focus. Yeah, it's a sort of chunky bolt, and that literally just plops in there, and you can pour your grain in and do your stirring and that, and it stops everything going down. But it's smooth actually, so it's not a bolt, it's just a big chunk of stainless steel. But there you go. Yeah. Just focusing on. Yeah, there you go. Now I did wonder, how do I get, so if I do all that, stir it in, and then when it comes to sparging, how do I get the sparging thing on? But I think it's just a case of oops, making a lot of noise. Yeah, just pulling off the telescopic part of the overflow pipe, which will allow you to then pop the sparging plate down onto the grain bed, and then pop the overflow pipe back on. Yeah, no, that's probably not what you want at all, is it? I don't know, actually. Maybe it has to sit on top of here, but it will only go down so much, and I think apparently you want your sort of sparging disc only a sort of couple of inches above the actual sort of liquor, so that it's not sort of dropping water from a great height. So I mean, I guess there's nothing wrong with that, although I guess that would probably sit right on top of the grain, and then your liquor would be on top of that, so maybe that's not great. I don't know, actually. I'll have to see. The details like this are not in the manual, so I'll have to kind of defer to see what other people do with things like the grain father and so on.